I'm going to show you the mental process I went through to be able to retire at the age of 36. Every day at work for 13 years, I asked myself one simple question, and I'm going to ask you the same. If I quit my job today, do I have enough money to never need to work again? And the answer was no. Your answer is probably the same. Here's the most important follow-up question though. What am I doing about it? There are only two legitimate ways I know of to becoming a multimillionaire. The rich get rich and stay rich by putting money in things that make more money. Sounds obvious, but what are those things? The first way is to own a business. It can give you uncapped earning potential, but it's risky. It also takes time and requires capital, so it's not suited for everyone, including me when I started my wealth journey. The second way is to invest money in appreciating assets. For me, that meant using money from my job to buy things that go up in value. Sounds good, but what do I buy? The wealthy investors tend to be in shares or property because they have a high intrinsic value. So that means no crypto or NFT, because that stuff is actually stupid. And as far as I can see, it's based on the bigger fool principle. I tried shares and I tried property, and hands down, property came out way ahead. I'll explain why in a separate video. So to recap, I knew I wanted to get out of my job early. I knew investing was going to be the way for me, and property was the asset class that suited me best. Here's the 4 things I did next. 1. I became educated in property. I bought books, went to seminars, joined forums, subscribed to magazines, and watched YouTube videos, just like you're doing now. I consumed as much content as I could. When you're new to something, you don't know what you don't know, and your lack of experience means you can be taken advantage of easily. So my goal was to learn as much as I could and remain healthily skeptical of every property spruiker out there. I figured if enough people were saying the same thing, it probably has an element of truth. Anything that was divergent or unique, I would treat with caution, and that approach has served me very well. Number 2, I cut my unnecessary expenses. Saving even 5% for a house deposit is tough, and it only gets harder as prices grow. I knew I needed to save as much as I could, as quickly as I could. So I chose not to buy a new car or go to fancy restaurants or buy expensive clothing. If you know me personally, you can attest to that, particularly my corporate attire. I also reduced my credit card debt and limit. Every $1,000 you have on your credit card reduces your borrowing capacity by about $6,000. So a $5,000 credit card limit reduces your borrowing by about $30,000. I'm not saying don't enjoy your life, but your spending and saving should align with your goals and values. Number 3, I took action. I was saving for a deposit for my first house, which was going to take years because I wanted it to be in a capital city. About 12 months in, my dad sent me a listing of a basic 3-bedroom house in Coffs Harbour. I almost dismissed it because it was in a regional town, and regional towns tend to not perform as well. It also needed cosmetic repairs, but it was almost half the price of the equivalent property in a capital city. Numbers wise, it stacked up okay. I figured if I bought it at the right price, even after factoring repairs, it'll be worth more than I paid for it, which gives me a buffer of safety. So I bought it. My dad and brother helped me fix it up, and my mates helped me paint it, and I paid them all in beer. A few months later, I had it revalued and it came out higher than the purchase price plus costs, which meant I now had equity. Equity is the difference between your mortgage amount and what the property is worth. I used that equity to buy my next house in Brisbane less than a year later. And I'm telling you, I could not have done that with just savings alone. That first house is now worth 3 times what I bought it for, and while it's not the best performing property I own, it was a really good first stepping stone on my property journey. Number 4, over the years, I pushed myself to get higher paying jobs just so I could buy more property. I figured if I have to work, I want to be paid the most I can to get out of work as soon as I can. Once you have a property, you can use the equity to help fund the next one. And once you have a few, they grow faster than you can save anyway, which means you don't have to contribute savings to future purchases if you don't want to. At that point, your job just helps satisfy the bank's serviceability and borrowing capacity requirements. Your properties do the rest. Over time, as my houses grew in value, the answer to my question, can I afford to quit today, started to change. It went from, no way dude, you need this job like oxygen, to no, to not really, to maybe, to yeah, to yeah, I don't need this anymore. Becoming educated, cutting expenses, taking action, and increasing my salary all contribute to how I built a multi-million-dollar property portfolio and retired early. But they are not the keys to success. They're just an example of what I did on my journey. Your journey will be different, and so will everyone else's. You know what the key to success actually is? It's really simple. It's just being motivated enough to take action. Whether it's property investing or anything in life, most people don't take action or they give up when things get tough. This journey, like most, is not easy, but it is achievable, particularly when you have a strong motivator. I call it my why. Why am I doing this? It's the reason I started this journey, and it's the reason I never ever gave up on it, even when things got tough. I share my why in this next video, and honestly, just a word of warning, it is pretty confronting, but it might just give you the fire you need on your journey too. I'm Brett, and this is Fire Property. Thanks for watching.